You are now about to be a willing victim of the Odysseus effect.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
What up, gang? It's your boy out here, Odysseus. How you guys been? How you been? How you been? What? Oh, come on. Come on. Don't be a pussy about it. Don't be a bitch. Just deal with that shit. Don't be a bitch about it. Alright? If I knew you were going to say something negative, I wouldn't have asked how you were, alright? Fuck. Sorry. I've been good. I'm just kidding with you guys. Even if you do have something to fucking frown about, dude, just don't, you know? I know it's easier said than done. I'll get into positivity a little bit later. Yeah, so like I mentioned on the last podcast, I'm up out of Westfield. It was nice to be in the hometown for a minute. You know, I took a nice long bike, way longer bike ride than I intended one day. Got to see the whole town, see how it's changing. And that was enough for me. Up out that bitch. Fuck that place. It's so fucking, Hamilton County's so fucking phony and up its own ass, and like, it's fucking, I don't know, bunch of bullshit out there. Bunch of fucking potential drama for me too, you know. It's like I got too many frenemies out there, too many people, you know, acting cool in my face and fucking plotting behind my back. So it was only a matter of time before some people get stomped out, and it wasn't gonna be me, you know. I ain't trying to hurt nobody, you know. So I was just like, let's just remove myself from this situation. So here we are, back to being recorded
from an undisclosed location.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it this way for a while. I'm digging where I'm at. Things are good. You know, can't complain. Like I said, I'm never in a place to complain. When you've seen things I've seen and experienced things I've experienced, it's hard to complain about almost anything. As long as I'm not, like, physically hurting. Like, if I had a headache right now, it's something to kind of bitch about, you know, but I don't, so can't complain. Yeah. So sorry for not putting these out like I said I was, you know, I had them. When I first started them, I was like, alright, once a week. And then I had people hit me up, and so I started doing them twice a week. And I started doing those little weird videos, you know, where it like really wasn't a podcast, it was just a video. Like a lot of the raps. I like the raps, though. But, yeah, but don't think this is from lack of effort, guys. I've actually recorded this, number 19, which I'll touch on that in a minute. There's significance in that. I've recorded this probably like 4 times, and it's like if I don't like it, or if I don't think it's good enough, or, you know, I don't want to just send you fucking a half hour or 45 minutes of some bullshit, you know. I want it to have something to it, a little fucking feeling in it, a little, you know, say it with your chest. Yeah, so sorry about not putting them out. It's just, like I said, I don't want to lose listeners to shitty podcasts. I'd rather have people waiting for a decent one, you know. I've been thinking about actually making like a couple different podcasts, because like I want to talk about MMA pretty much every time there's a big fight, which is, you know, a couple times a month now. So, and I know half y'all don't give a fuck about that. It's like if my fucking best friend made a podcast and he started talking about golf or baseball, I'd be like, next, not listening. This guy sucks, you know. So, I mean, I want to keep the MMA ones maybe to their own podcast, and I was thinking maybe like a conspiracy theory one, too, because I've got a lot of crazy, weird ideas and a lot of shit I could talk about for hours, but you guys would think I'm insane if you don't already. You probably do from all those times when I was acting crazy. But yeah, so, like, and see, I kind of want maybe one of them to go back to the video format. Maybe it'll be the actual just podcast, because this is like the one that's like, I'm trying to go in a new direction, guys. Let's start over. Welcome to the Odysseus. Wow, let's start over again. Welcome to the Odysseus effect. I'm your boy Odysseus, and it's called the Odysseus effect. Odysseus was the hero of Homer's The Odyssey, you know, a fucking ancient Greek epic. We read it in school. It was pretty cool. It's where the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, that George Clooney movie, the movie's like the whole plot of that movie's based off of the Odyssey. It just happens with people instead of like creatures and stuff, you know. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I chose Odysseus because one, it was a name kind of given to me way back in the day when we were all tripping. That was my tripping name. But also, you know, also my last name's Otis, so it's like it kind of it's a little bit of a play on words, you know. It's like if my last name was some Greek hero from a fucking, you know, whatever. But I like it because I'm gonna say something that makes me sound conceited a little bit, but I'm not. Know that I know this isn't true, okay? But I like to act like the world is a movie and I'm the star. I'm the hero of this shit. And it's like I've been. It's gonna be such a good movie. Like when I fucking finally like rise up at the ashes like a fucking phoenix, dude. For real, like. Oh, like it could be a legitimate good movie, especially just the last couple of years, dude. Because if you started watching my life 2 years ago, then you pretty much saw the whole 10 years before that, you know. Because I was on heroin for like 10 years, so you don't really need to see 10 years of that shit. Just know that. And then from there, went to Colorado, all that crazy shit, getting out, being on the run, all this crazy shit, dude. Like it'll be a great movie. I will. I'll get all you guys fucking. You guys can come to the premiere, you know. I was thinking having Johnny Depp play me, you know, but we gotta make him look young, you know. I don't know. These are just thoughts, people. I'm just kidding. I don't think this will ever be a movie. But I like to act like I am the hero of my own movie, you know. It makes things a little interesting. Ugh. Okay. But yeah, and it's effect with an A, the Odysseus effect, not with an E. An effect with an E is like something that happens as a result of something. That's an effect. But with an A, it's like the thing that causes the effect, you know, like a tsunami will cause a blackout. The tsunami is the effect with an A, the blackout is the effect with an E, you know. So I'm hoping that this podcast will crash through your consciousness like a tidal wave and change you and everybody that listens to it, you know. I'm going to talk about consciousness and all that here in a second. So yeah, just know that I've been trying to put these out. I've been watching my older ones, you know, listening to them. Like, I really like the Mandela Effect one, which is number 8. It didn't have a title. That was the first video one, because I needed video 8. And then Manifesto was not too long after that, the one where I was drunk and I was acting like a totally insane person. I love it when I got my list of people on and off the team. I thought that shit was thoroughly hilarious. A lot of people I know do too, but a lot of people are like, almost like embarrassed for me by it, but they don't understand I'm trying to be funny. It's self-deprecating humor, you know, which is the best kind of humor, because if I was out here just making fun of people, there's people that like those people, you know. Like when I started doing those raps and shit, dude, people started getting shitty at me. I don't give a fuck, you know. Fuck you. What the fuck have you done for me? Whole bunch of nothing. Keep watching my videos though, please. Yeah, alright, so, and I want to keep the rap ones coming out. I think I'll definitely probably make the rap ones a video, because that shit's funnier, you know. Because I'm some, you know, like I'm like just a cliche-looking white guy with a fucking ponytail, you know, but I got like a fucking bandana on, like Tupac, straight bumping some fucking gangster shit. I think they're fucking funny. Like I've got like 3 of them like halfway done. Like sometimes inspiration will just strike me, you know. I want to give you a sample right now, but it's like I don't have the beat, and it's just I wasn't prepared. But yeah, they're gonna be funny. Just know that, guys. So yeah, this podcast, I want to try to get it back to a format, you know. I used to have like a rigid format, but I didn't like the rigidness of it. I like the free flow, you know, kind of like, whoa, what's gonna happen next? But this one, I wanted to go back a little, like, you know, so I do have like a little, you know, talk some current events, some popular internet news. I don't know what you want to call it, and then I'll talk about the UFC pay-per-view there's this weekend too. But and then I got a funny story at the end if you're still hanging in there for me. Alright, so yeah. I'm going to try to go back to the old, but with some new, you know. No more gimmicks, no more dumb shit. Like, I think I'm funny enough, being just naturally just kicking it, you know. I have a funny perspective on the world. I think it's because I'm always looking for that silver lining, and I'm very self-deprecating, so it's like, it's a very unique twist. Like, the way we can look at the same things, and the sentence that I will have that describes it will just be a little funnier than yours. I'm sorry. Anyway, allow me to crawl out of my own ass for a second. Yeah, this is episode 19, and it's been, I think the reason I recorded this one like so many times and didn't release it is because 19 is my favorite number. My email address is tkodis19@hotmail.com. It's been that since I was like 14. It's just been my number. I like 19 a lot, you know. I got it out of a Stephen King book, but it's just been my number, you know. Always has been. If I get to pick a number on something and 19's available, always pick 19. So this is podcast number 19, so I figure, you know, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is O-O-D to the Y-S-S-E-U-S, yes, I don't know. I couldn't keep it going, sorry. But yeah. So, yeah. Here we are. Trying to take her down a new curve a little bit. I'm gonna ask you guys to fucking hit me with some topics, dude. Like, some of the better podcasts have come as somebody being like, hey, talk about this, and I'll look into it, and like, it was interesting stuff, and I fucking did a podcast about it, and it was a good one. I was thinking about, like, people send me, like, your fucking stupid, like, life problems, you know, like, send me comments or messages or something, and I'll answer them like I'm giving advice, but it's like, your advice is coming from some fucking, you know, from me, so it's funny, you know, it's gonna be my crazy fucking thug-ass, drug addict opinion on shit, you know? I'll be like, fuck that, kick that dude in the stomach and push him down the stairs, that's what you should do, sir. You know, I won't actually say that. Well, now I can't, because I already said it once, but, you know, ask me for advice, like, send me, like, relationship problems, and I'll be like, fuck that bitch, you know, like, it'll be funny, I think. I'll call it Dr. Otis or something, fuck, I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying to go back to the old podcast, so yeah, hopefully I can fucking get a real fixed idea of what this podcast is and a direction for it, you know? And hopefully I can get some advertisers, man. It's been a while since I've plugged some ads. You know, I used to be plugging the American Snuff Company, quality snuff since 1782. And, which I need to get some more. It's hard. You can't find it in Indiana, dude. It's like a down south fucking, like, tobacco fucking motherfucking, you know, like, down in the south. Like, cigarettes are cheaper. Like, that's where all the tobacco is grown, you know? So there's all kinds of shit down there. Yeah. So today's podcast is brought to you by The Book of Revelation by John the Apostle. The Book of Revelation causing you to shit your pants and poorly plan your future for 2,000 years. Now, I say the Book of Revelation because I really think we're in end times, and I've really been, like, tripping out about it lately. Like, it'll paranoid me and consume my every fucking thought, but it's like, okay, maybe we are in end times, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime real soon, you know? It could be stretched out, like, this whole... Your government and the whole world, there's an agenda, and whether you believe in God or not, like, there's always a daily struggle of wrong versus right. There's a global, universal struggle of good versus evil. There's, like, you know, like a universal yin-yang. Excuse me. Like, that is always going on. And right now, the government has, they have unlimited power, unlimited access to money, unlimited... And they don't have to disclose things if it's in the... all you gotta do is be like, oh, national security, and they're not gonna ever tell you about that shit, ever. And they're doing some nefarious things, and I'll get into that here in a little bit, you know? But yeah, Book of Revelation, written by John the Apostle, he wrote a lot of good stuff in the Bible, you know? He obviously wrote the Book of John, and then he wrote 1 John and 2 John, and he wrote Revelation. Yeah, I really like John because in 1 John 4:8 he says, I'm kind of, I don't have the verse right in front of me. He says, if a man does not know love, he does not know God, for God is love. And I know I got the last part right, like, perfect, because it's just those three simple words in a row, God is love. And he says it again, like, 8 verses later. And that's really, like, the most, my deepest held belief is that God is love. And that love is the most powerful thing in the universe. So, God is the most powerful thing in the universe. I think it's like a frequency, you know? It's like I think that consciousness is like a thing that we all share. It's like we're all eating off the same plate, you know? Or it's not like I'm conscious, you're conscious, they're conscious. We're all conscious, you know? It's something that we have in common, you know? Animals are conscious, but on a lesser... They don't pick up on as much of the frequency as we do, you know? They're not as much in that dimension. And then they say plants are conscious, you know, and that they can feel pain and send messages to nearby plants and stuff, but the difference is plants aren't self-aware. A plant isn't like, I am a sunflower, you know, like, it's just, I don't know, fuck, you can't talk to them, so it's hard. I mean, you can talk to them, but they don't talk back. It's hard to, I guess I'm making quite a bit of assumptions about the plant kingdom, aren't I? I don't know. I know, I love plants. I love vegetables, I love spinach, I love salads, I love blueberries. My favorite plant, though... Okay, I was about to say my favorite plant is marijuana, which it is, I'll get back to that in a second, but if we're talking just like foods, as far as plants go, spinach, broccoli, blueberries, like almonds and nuts and shit like that. Oh, like cauliflower, I love fucking carrots and onions and peppers, and oh my god, I love vegetables, dude. Love them. But no, weed. Yeah, straight up, best plant in the world. It is, it's the most versatile plant in the world. Like, I could talk for a half hour about the things you can do with hemp. But, yeah. I've been smoking weed lately, and it's really chilled me out. And it's like the first time I got like real high, I didn't like it was just because I hadn't smoked in a while, and it got me like way too high. And then I found myself like building a tolerance to it almost over the next like couple weeks, and so I've been trying to cut back a little. It's like I really don't. I try to use it medicinally, like when I need it. If I'm feeling anxious or kind of weird, it helps a lot to take a couple hits of pot. It really does. Whereas, like, if you would have like started drinking or done any other kind of drug, it would have went down a whole dark little rabbit hole, But weed just chills you out, changes your perspective. Like when I like listen to my podcast when I'm high, I'm like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I hate all of them. I want to delete these videos half the time, but it's like I can't, just on principle. Yeah, so I've been smoking weed, and so it chills me out, which brought me back to, like, wanting to meditate and wanting to, meditation is powerful. Yoga is powerful. Like, if you meditate while you're doing yoga, that's super powerful. But I found that if I'm high, I can't really meditate. It makes me way too scatterbrained, I can't erase all my thoughts because, like, they're all too low, like, on the totem pole. They're like, it's like a root system of cobwebs. It's hard to describe being high and trying to clear your thoughts. But, yeah, if I'm sober, I can sit there, align the chakras, sit perfectly straight up, and then you just start your breaths. Focus only on your breaths, in and out, Make sure you engage your diaphragm when you're breathing. You want to breathe from your stomach. That's something I learned in jiu-jitsu, because when there's a grown-ass man laying on your chest and fucking squeezing your throat, it's kind of hard to engage those muscles to breathe, so you breathe with your stomach, which there's an organ down there that nobody uses. Everybody breathes with their throat like a dummy, We've got a whole system for how to breathe. Just raise and, like, bring in and bring out your stomach, and that little balloon under there fills your lungs every time. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so I'll align my chakras, and you can kind of pick whichever one you want to focus on. I either focus on the heart or the pineal gland, typically. I like the heart, I like to fill my heart with love, and then expel all the negativity when I exhale. I like to do that. And then when I focus with the pineal gland, it's almost like I'm like pinging, I'm sitting on a scene, like at the beginning of this podcast, the ding, ding. It's like I'm doing that, but with, like, my brain, dude. I'm scared, like, an alien's just gonna scoop me up one day, I don't know if I believe in aliens. I know the government does. Listen, mark my words. This is podcast number 19. Fucking Tyler Otis right here in the fucking flesh called it. There will be a fucking fake alien invasion staged in this country within the next 2 years. The fucking CIA's all over fucking CNN saying, listen, there's aliens. Fucking Bill Clinton's on fucking Jimmy Kimmel saying there's aliens. Like, all these fucking officials are coming out and saying this shit, and they wouldn't just say it out of nowhere if they didn't have a plan for it, because they've been sitting on this information for fucking decades. It's not like they're like, oh, finally, let's tell them. No, they have a plan. And I think their plan is they finally reverse engineered these UFOs to the point where they have them, they can control them, and they can stage this whole thing. And then from there, it's like whatever kind of chaos ensues. Whew, spooky stuff. Spooky, crazy. I saw this. It says, you will live in interesting times. Ancient Chinese curse. So it's like, yeah, interesting's never a dull moment, but also it's like fucked up shit's going on. Alright, so I talked about love, talked about consciousness. Let's talk about forgiveness for a second, just because it's so big, and I want to keep touching on it. I talk about it a lot, I think. Maybe not. But, you gotta forgive everybody that you hold. If you hold a grudge in your heart, that is like think of your heart as a pie chart. Say you got 10 pieces in there. If you're holding, and say there's 10 people in your life, if you're holding on to hate, that's a wedge of your heart that can't be filled with love, You're hurting yourself holding on to these grudges. It's best to just forgive and forget, for real. Like, that's the way to go about it. Forgive that person, do not hold that against them, and just don't give them the opportunity to ever do it again, cut them out of your life. But you gotta forgive and forget, people. And most people, the way they get hung up on this, they can forgive her, and they're like, I don't get it. You have to forgive yourself. That's the key. Like, I've done so much stupid, fucked up shit in my life. I was a fucking heroin addict for like 9 years, So it's like, I've done a lot of stupid shit, a lot of shit that people would, like if you didn't do drugs and you did this, you'd be like, what? You'd have a hard time living with yourself. But I can forgive myself. I know that I was doing these things because I was, you know, caught up in this addiction. I don't hold these things against me. I know some people might, but I never really did people dirty. I'd do stores real dirty, you know. I'll rob a store blind, but I never really stole from my friends. So yeah, you just gotta forgive yourself, and like more importantly than that, you gotta love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can forgive yourself, and then you'll go right back into that low self-esteem like the next day. Like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Pity me. Like, okay. How about, instead of being all lovey-dovey about it, I'll put it like this, guys. If you feel like that, understand, nobody gives a fuck. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're in a fucking bad mood, alright? Nobody. Nobody cares that you're down and out. Nobody. So, it's a fucking one-man pity party, and everybody else is fucking laughing at you. So, just get the fuck up, and put on a smile, and love yourself. And to love yourself, you gotta forgive yourself, but right after you forgive yourself, you gotta fucking embrace yourself. Like, look yourself in the mirror and know that you're not a fucking loser, you know? Like, I don't know, like I've been in, you know, like, I've been fucking homeless for extended periods of time. I've been down and out hard, and I never was just real hard on myself, you know? I was just like, I can't wait for this to be over one day, but I was never like, I don't know, people are just too hard on themselves, dude. Even, like, I keep using drugs as my example, because that was, like, the only hardship I really had that was, like, dominating my life. But some people, it's just, like, crippling anxiety, you know, or, like, they just have really low self-esteems, and I don't know why. Probably a bunch of, like, high school-related traumas and shit. Who knows, dude? All I know is you gotta forgive yourself to love yourself, and then you gotta love yourself to keep that. When your heart's full of love and there's no room for hate, you're gonna start radiating that love. You know, there's not gonna be any hate in your heart. People are very respond positively to that. It's and like I said, it's the most powerful thing in the world. Love. It's crazy the things I've seen when I walk around pure of heart with love radiating out of me. Like, I will just my aura before I speak. Like, people are, you know, paying attention. It's weird. Like, it's like a magnetism almost. Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna change topics, because I could keep rambling about love and forgiveness and meditation forever. Those are like my consciousness and God, you know, those are my favorite things. Alright, so I'm gonna talk little current events, sort of. And then I'll talk current events, and then I'll talk sports. Alright, so 5G, guys. Their phones are all 4G. 5G is about to be rolled out in this country. We're going to be the first country to do it. Yeah, go America, right? No. The reason we're the first is because we're not waiting to test it. Everybody else is like, I don't know, let's see what's going on here. So if you look into it, there are these millimeter-wide wavelengths that are super, the frequency's really high, you know, so they're very disruptive. And they're, like, if you know anything about, like, Wi-Fi is just straight radiation. Like, there's a little beacon, and it's causing things to radiate off of it, you know, and you gotta stay within, like, we don't know what these things are doing to us, man. I know that, like, laptops aren't good. Like, you're not supposed to set a computer on your lap and have fucking Wi-Fi sucked into it, dude. Like, it makes you go sterile. Like, they're doing all kinds of studies on this shit. We know these wavelengths are terrible. Like, 30 years ago, when cell phones first came out, they were like, there are links to this in brain cancer. You know, you're sending these waves directly to your fucking brain. Like, just because you can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't have a great effect. You can't see an X-ray, but that motherfucker can see you, can't it? They fucking throw a lead fucking apron on you, walk out the room and click a button, dude, and they can see every bone in your body. Like, you didn't see that. You wouldn't know if you were in a room full of X-rays until you died from fucking brain tumors, you know? So that's effectively what we're in with, is microwaves and all these weird waves pumping through the air. We don't understand them. But what they say about 5G is that it's gonna be a big infrastructure job. Excuse me. Like, they're gonna have to put one of these things every like on every block, you know, because I guess the 5G doesn't pump as far, but it's far more powerful. So they're just trying to, like, scramble everybody all over the place, dude. It's gonna be bad. I think this is part of their, like, long-term plan to reduce the population, you know, for real, and then just make mad money trying to cure a cancer and watching us die in debt. Sick fucks up at the top, dude. Yeah, if you look at the guy that's rolling this out, the spokesman, He's like the chairman of the FCC, but he used to be like the Wi-Fi industry's biggest lobbyist on Congress, man. So it's like they brought a corrupt guy in, put him as the fucking poster boy, got him out there telling us why we need this, and he was like, we're not gonna wait around 1 or 2 years to see and do trials on these waves to see if they're good or not. He's like, no innovator has ever been helped by regulation. We need to unroll this. We need to be the first. And he's like, it's just like, oh my God, you're gonna fucking kill us. And England's enrolled up in it. Great Britain, they're gonna be the second country to roll it out. But like, it's just so people just question everything, man. Like, this crazy weather we've been having. They can make fucking storms, like, for real. Like, look into that. Look up fucking a made-up storm, you know. They can make clouds and make them rain clouds and make it rain on you. And I'm sure they can affect the temperature, and so now that cloud's snow, you know. They're really fucking with us hard. Okay. I get fucking fired up talking about nefarious government actions, so I'm gonna switch it off, you know, because, yeah, I don't want to. I feel like it's a downer. That's why I want to make it just a conspiracy theory podcast, because that one will be just you know, strictly that type of shit. So you'll know when you're getting into it. It won't change the vibe of things. All right, moving along. Rapper Lil Xan, this little fucking piece of shit. All right, so he looks like every 16-year-old kid you've ever seen that does drugs in high school in your fucking life, except he's got shitty tattoos on his face, but he's just got that, you can tell it's Xanax this kid likes. He's got that look on his face like, what state am I in right now? Like, where am I? What's my fucking middle name? Oh my God. Like, he just looks fucking brain dead, this fucking kid. Anyway, enough about how he's a piece of shit. And all these little rappers coming out naming themselves Lil and fucking just, it's really bad music. That's my own, like, I don't hate that they're out there getting money. I don't hate, like, that they're getting bitches and shit. Like, that's cool. But I wish that I had the money to pay them to fuck off, you know? I wish I could be like, yo, what's your record deal? Okay, I'll give you twice that to diss a fucking peer, kid. Nobody wants to see you. Anyway, so this kid, he was asked in an interview about Tupac. And what he said was, I don't really like Tupac, I think it's boring music. Which, first of all, I don't know where to start, first of all, I guess. Okay, I'm going to say, first of all, I start every day in my life. All the ups and downs that I've had over the last couple of years, I try to start every day the exact same way. Hot cup of coffee, Tupac Shakur. Every day. And it's not, I don't listen to the gangster shit first thing, you know, I'll listen to the fucking, because not most, but a lot of his music is not fucking gangster fucking guns and drugs and shit, dude. A lot of his shit is very loving music, and you can really start your day off nice with some Tupac. Yeah, so I love Tupac. As you can, you know, I was in the Manifesto episode, I had the bandana on, I was channeling my inner Tupac. I'll probably rock the bandana just to fucking, on the picture for this one, just so I can fucking do it, you know. I like the bandana backwards, the American flag one too, and I love Tupac. He's a real inspiration to me. And this guy said his music's boring. Now, when I was younger, I didn't like Tupac's music that much either. I would like his, like, uppity, his, like, you know, like, California Love and, like, shit that was real upbeat. But I always thought his stuff was kind of slow, and I realized it was just the fucking 90s, you know, and then when I started smoking pot, I listened to it, and it was like, I was way more chilled out, and I was like, alright, I can dig this shit now. It's just, like, too much, like, almost R&B-ish, the beats were. But I think that's because, like, Pac was like, if you ask me who's the best rapper ever, I say Tupac. But now, if you say who's the best at rapping, well, that's a completely different story. You know, there's a lot of people that are better at rapping than Tupac, but Tupac's the best rapper, if that makes any sense. Like, Biggie was better at rapping than Tupac. Eminem, way better at rapping than Tupac. Tupac, way better rapper, way better artist, way better poet, way better lyricist, way better, you know, way better person to look up to, dude. Like, you can look up to Tupac and be in a really good state of mind, but if you're looking up to people like fucking like Young Jeezy or something, some dude that's just talking about moving blow all the time and being a fucking gangster, which I like Jeezy, don't get me wrong, I love Jeezy, but you know, if he's your fucking hero, you're gonna be doing piece of shit stuff. But if Tupac's your hero, you know, you can be fucking like being a decent fucking guy. Not saying that I am, you know, like I say, I like to listen to his gangster shit too, but so it's like, I don't hate on him for his opinion about it, because like I said, when I was younger, I used to think his shit was kind of slow and boring myself. Maybe this kid will come around when he gets older. But what happened was, he was at like a fucking mall or some shit, and like 20 people were around him. They were all, because this dude got slaughtered in the media about it. Everybody was like shitting all over this kid, which, I mean, good, you know, fuck you. You're a fucking terrible rapper talking shit about the greatest, you know, so you deserve to get shit on, kid. But these 20 people like surrounded him. They were all like, "You think Pac sucks, dude? You fucking suck." And I mean, I guess they were yelling at him and shit. Anyway, this dude does the least gangster thing that can ever be done. He called the fucking cops. He was in public, there was cameras on him, and he was like, "What'd you expect me to do? There was like fucking 20 people yelling at me, dude. Of course I called the cops to get some security out of there." And I was like, "You're such a fucking pussy, dude." Like, okay, so not only do you talk shit about Tupac, but when someone confronts you about it, you call the fucking police. Like, God, someone in this fucking kid's career, please. Oh, it's so bad. Alright, moving on from that. It's a little late tonight. Sorry if there's not as much energy as usual, you know. Hopefully it's still mildly entertaining. Alright. UFC 223. Holy shit. So glad that I actually didn't release this podcast. That were the first 4 times I recorded it. Because every time I would record it when I got to UFC, I had to change something. Because this is the craziest week in the history of the UFC in its 25 years of existence. Hands down, alright? So what they had going on, UFC 223, originally, Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov for the lightweight title. Tony Ferguson was the interim champ. Conor McGregor's the champion, but they were going to strip him and allow the winner of this fight to be the actual champion. And this fight has been scheduled like 4 times. It's cursed, man. These guys will never fight, I swear. Dana White said he'll never make this fight again, because this is the 4th time they tried, and something always happens. Somebody misses weight, somebody gets injured. Anyway, Tony Ferguson, walking around backstage, trips over a cord on the fucking ground, blows his fucking knee out. Okay, like, he's out for a year. He needs surgery. Like, it's crazy. Weird, right? So then it's like, oh, the fight's off. This whole card's ruined. Then they get Max Holloway to step in there, dude. And Max Holloway is the 145-pound champ. So now he's fighting Khabib, and if he wins, he'll have 2 belts, dude. And it would have been awesome, you know, because Conor's the only other guy to have 2 belts at the same time. And then Khabib could have. Khabib's actually defending belts, you know. Max Holloway rather. He, you know, the UFC's his only source of like income. Like he's not Conor McGregor famous where he's got sponsorships out the ass and shit, you know. So Max Holloway stays fighting. So he's cutting weight, and then the New York State Athletic Commission steps in and says his weight cut's going too bad, they're going to stop it. So they pull him out the fight. Then this dude, they had Anthony Pettis who's going to fight him, and then I guess at the last second he demanded more money, so they pulled him off of it, and then they gave it to Al Iaquinta, Raging Al, who's a local New York guy. It was cool to see him. I love his corner, Ray Longo and Matt Serra. Those are probably my favorite corner guys in the fucking world. They're just hilarious. They're like Long Island fucking, "Go out there and punch him in his fucking chest, alright? I want you to kick his fucking head off." Like, that's the type of shit they say, like in a professional mixed martial arts fight to their people. It's hilarious. But, yeah, so it was Al Iaquinta versus Nurmagomedov, which everybody thought Al Iaquinta was going to get smashed. Khabib, if I didn't mention, undefeated. He's a ground and pound fighter. Like, he just takes you down and just Donkey Kongs your fucking head in, dude. Like, nobody leaves there looking the same or feeling the same. Like, he kills your fucking pride while he pounds your face in. Because you're just laying there just fucking taking it. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just, like, when you see these guys' faces, they're thoroughly annoyed at what's going on, you know? So yeah, that was the main event. He beat Al Iaquinta by decision. Al Iaquinta actually had a few good moments. Nobody thought he had a chance, because this is like the number 1 ranked guy versus like the number 11th, but Al Iaquinta really kind of, they use this term a lot, exposed him. He exposed him. I don't like that term that much, but he kind of did expose him. Alright, co-main event, which really should have got bumped to the main event after all that crazy bullshit. But the co-main event was the champion Rose Namajunas, Thug Rose, versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk, who, Joanna was the champion, defended it 5 times in a row. Like, she was like probably like the most badass champ in the UFC, you know, probably the most well-respected and the most, she was a fighter's fighter, you know. Every fight she put on was entertaining. Like, you're always like, damn, this bitch is going for it, you know. She'll walk up and hit you with like a 20-punch combo and just be like, yeah, what up, you know. And she's great with the media, you know. She's a little cutie, you know. She's got these bright blue eyes, and but alright, yeah, she was the champion last time she fought Rose. Rose knocked her out in the first round. Everybody kind of thought it was a fluke. Everybody was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Rematch. I thought it was going to be it was going to go the distance like it did, but I thought that Joanna was going to win, you know. It was going to piece her up 5 rounds. Rose Namajunas, dude, holy shit. She's been training, man. Her footwork and her head movement was some of the best I've ever seen, like, in the UFC, especially from a woman, dude. Like, her distance and her steps and the way she moved, just, her footwork was very unorthodox, and she could cut good angles and, step in and step out of her reach very well. I was very impressed with Rose. Very impressed. And then, but I was rooting for Joanna, dude. Joanna's a fucking gangster. She's Polish. When I was in Summit County, there's a bunch of Polish girls, and I'd always ask them about Joanna and Jacek if they knew who she was, and they're like, yeah. I was like, cool. I miss those Polish girls. Poland's got some beautiful ladies, let me tell you. Fucking what were their Susanna and Patricia. That's what their names like loosely translate to in English. That's not what their actual names were, but they were, they were. I loved them. They were nice. They gave me free coffee and free, like, mac and cheese up on the mountains where, a fucking cup of Starbucks, dude, that's like fucking $9 up on the mountain, and then a fucking thing of mac and cheese is like $8, but they were hooking me up. They were beautiful. Ugh, I miss Summit County. Not just for the beautiful Polish ladies, but just the beautiful mountains, beautiful everything, you know? Alright, so yeah, like, halfway through this week, they were doing press conference for the UFC, and, Khabib corners Artem Lobov. Artem Lobov is Conor McGregor's best friend. Conor McGregor's not in town because he's not fighting. And they kind of make Artem Lobov look like a punk. Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Russian, and his team make Artem Lobov look like a punk a little bit. Conor McGregor sees this on TV, and he goes, oh shit, we're going over there. We're not going to let this stand. So he gears up with like 20 of his fucking homies, gets on a plane, comes over here, and he's got a YouTube channel called The Mac Life, and they have press credentials, so they get into all the UFC events. So he had like people working for him that could get him into the building, because he wasn't like supposed to be here at all, you know. And he comes in, and I swear this dude, after he beat Floyd, that he became a cokehead. And I've got a lot of reasons to think this. Just all of his behavior, like if you look, like he's reminding me of like Tupac or some shit, dude. Like he thinks he's a fucking, you can't fucking. Like, when Tupac got shot in the head twice, I think he felt kind of invincible a little bit for a while. He knew he was going to die, but, like, I think he fucking felt like... I don't know. Okay, so Conor, he's got, like, Irish mobsters that got a bounty on his head. He's in legal trouble in Ireland. Now he's in legal trouble in the United States, for what I'll get into here in a second. And he's, he hopped into a Bellator cage, which is Bellator's like the UFC's competition. Like, before the fight was officially over, he just, like, ran in there, like, in a fucking suit, you know, hopped the cage, like... Dude's been acting crazy, out of character, and it's not. It's either the $100 million he went mad with power, or $100 million he bought like 50 grand of coke, and he's just been doing it. Cause like, what he did at this fucking, he showed up at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, and he grabbed a dolly, like a fucking thing that you can like tow a refrigerator on. You know, it's like they call them hand trucks, but they're referred to as dollies most time. Anyway. He picked this thing up and he threw it through a bus window that Khabib was on, but also like 10 other fighters were on this bus that were fighting on this card, and he fucking injured like 3 of them, dude, like glass in their face and their eyes and shit. Like he really fucked up, dude. He threw this dolly through a fucking bus window, and then he's running around after that looking for other shit to throw, picking up big barricades, like motherfucker, Then like the cops are chasing him around, like he's acting like an insane person. And then I was just like, oh, he's just like super high on coke. He's the biggest star in the UFC, the biggest star the UFC's ever had, and he's the richest MMA fighter that has ever lived, you know? So he probably thinks he's the shit, you know? And he's fucking doing a bunch of coke, you know? Like, come on, yeah. Now he's fucking in full fucking, you know, he's just running around fucking Charlie Sheenan, you know? Fucking winning, except now he's losing. Well, I mean... They asked him about it. He's like, I'm rich. I'm not fucking, you know, I'm not going... Like, he got arrested for it, but he's not going to have to do a bunch of jail time. Like, he went in, posted his bail, got out. Like, he'll probably do probation, have to make some fucking PSAs or some shit. But, yeah, still. Alright, that's... The rest of the fights kind of sucked on that card, so I only talked about the top 2. There was a couple of good prospects, but I don't remember their names, so I'm not going to mention them. So, yeah, I'm going to start wrapping her up, guys. This, Actually, no, I promised you a funny story. Alright, it's kind of fitting I stopped at the UFC, because this is a wrestling story when I wrestled in school. I'm not going to say these people's names, because I don't want to give them credit, or make them think I'm talking shit or any of this shit. But there was this guy, when I wrestled, the first year I wrestled at 135 pounds, believe it or not. Imagine me being 135 pounds, yeah, crazy, right? But this was like 6th grade, like, you know, like, hadn't fucking really grown yet. And there was this guy he wrestled at 165, and he was kind of a bully, you know, and I was just like sick of his shit in the locker room one day. We got into a fight, you know, and it ended up on the ground. I had him in what's called a bulldog choke, which is like if you wanted to give somebody a noogie, like this would be like the kind of a headlock you put them in, you know, like you're standing in front of them, but when you put it under their chin and start pulling up, you know, you start choking them. And I got this guy, and we were on the ground, and it was like, oh shit, I'm on top of you, my whole body's on your head. I was like, I'm about to choke this dude out, fucking hell yeah, about to take down the fucking bully, you know. I was like, yeah, yeah. And what this guy did, this is why they have weight classes, people, because I couldn't do this to him. He just puts his arms under me and just stands up off the ground. And now he's just holding me like a fucking baby. And he's walking down the hallway with me, and I'm trying to choke him, you know, I'm like, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm going to fucking choke him out before we fucking find out. And he's walking, and then he just throws me into a trash can. Right into a trash can. Yeah. I told that story to somebody on the fucking phone, and they laughed their ass off at me. So I was like, that's a funny story, I'll put it on the podcast. Yeah, I tried to fight the bully, got thrown in a trash can. Like, cliche shit, too, you know? It was a big trash can, and it was like, I had to let go of him when he dropped me, you know, because I couldn't, you know. It was just, whatever. Tried to fight it's like I fought the law and the law won, but it's like, yeah, I fought the bully and he won. But I think I could fuck him up now, probably, you know. I mean, it wouldn't be nice. Like, it's not, he'd probably beat me in wrestling because he's bigger and knows wrestling just as well as I do, but I could, like, break his arms, but that's not nice, you know. I like knowing how to break people's arms, though, and their legs, and I prefer to choke, though, because that's the most polite way to stop a fight, because when you choke someone out, they just kind of wake up, and you didn't hurt them at all, and they're confused. They don't know exactly what happened, but they know that they're on their back, and you're standing, and then you know, you're just like, you say whatever you want. Alright, yeah. So here we are, guys, end of the podcast. If you're still listening, thank you, you're a true homie. I'll try to come back at you. Please, guys, send me some fucking suggestions, you know, for topics or just something you want to talk about. Or if you want to get on the podcast and debate me about something, dude, like, we'll totally do that. We can do that. That can happen. So, fucking hit me up, give me some suggestions, or fucking, like I said, send me your, like, fucking problems in life and long, detailed questions, and I'll respond to them and read them on the air. I'll change your name. You know, I'm respectful. Alright. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Peace.